Listen, if you're already feeling like you're behind in this new year, I want to invite you to pause with me. Let's just pause. Let's take a second to understand and realize that we're not behind. You're not behind. I hope that gives you a little bit of peace. It does me. We're not behind. And we don't need to effort our way into change. I didn't feel the urge to rush into this new year. I'm kind of glad that the first week or so of this year wasn't starting on a Monday. It was almost like an affirmation for me. And so I want to talk about why not rushing, not feeling the pressure that everybody's putting on everybody for goals and new year and all of this stuff. I'm not here for trends. I'm at peace with taking things as I need to take them for myself. And I want to invite you to do the same because we don't need the pressure, especially the pressure to be perfect or the pressure to have the perfect plan right now. We can let it be simple. And that's what this episode, I hope, brings you is some peace to know that we can let it be easy. We can let it be simple and we can let it be peaceful. Let's get into it. Hey girl, welcome! Welcome back to another episode of Rock That Fitness with Anna Rockstar. Happy New Year. Happy 2026. We're here. We made it. And this is dropping, of course, on the first Monday of the new year. Isn't it nice? I don't know about you, but I have felt like I kind of got a few extra days before starting, the full week in the new year. And so it's kind of, I don't know, it's sort of reflective of this whole episode. I have a lot on my heart today, a lot on my mind, a lot I want to share. I was like, man, I have so many different episodes I could share. And I do have a lot of different things to share today. I hope you had a fantastic Christmas and holiday season and New Year. I know that we've had some really tough times this year, all of us. And I also know that we can reflect back and see that we've had some pretty amazing things that have happened also. So just a little update for my holiday and my Christmas. Thank you for asking because I know you're so sweet and you care. Country Boy and I went to West Virginia to go visit his family, and it was another one of those like screeching halt. Everything slows down in West Virginia. It is the country life, the country food, the country living that I don't think I will ever get used to. I can enjoy it for a few days, but there's still something that's very challenging for me in that it's just not my lifestyle. Just not for me all the time, but it is enjoyable. This time around, and as I've shared with some of my friends, every time I go, I've gotten better, more skilled mentally, physically, emotionally, all the things when it comes to my eating habits and being surrounded with all of that. I've gotten better every single time in the past 9 years that I've been going with Country Boy to visit his family. Sometimes I've gone and I've definitely eaten way over my calorie allowance or maintenance amount, and I've gained upwards 7 to 10 pounds easily on a visit. And then there have been times that I've actually been able to just maintain. And this time I was in maintenance. I wasn't in a deficit this time, but I made some real conscious decisions. I did go to the gym a couple of times. I did some walks, even though my IT band has been acting up and sore. I'm still walking because I've learned, according to my ortho doctor, that yes, in fact, even after the MRI, I do have IT band, and it's just going to take time. So I'm going to be in pain whether I walk or not. So I'm just going to walk. Anyway, long story short, it was a wonderful visit. Grandma Blizzard is 105. And she is still kicking. The only thing is that she was sick when we arrived, and she was very sick. And had to cancel Christmas dinner with the whole family. So that made it challenging this time around because we're just used to the whole family showing up at grandma's house and we're all able to get around, be together. But it was a little bit more challenging because we had to kind of piece together who we were going to visit, when we were going to visit, and when we were actually able to see people. But one of the cool things we did was we did go to Grandma Blizzard's house, and we all went to the backyard, to the windows that face her living room where she sits, and we sang her some Christmas carols. And that was that was probably one of the highlights for me. Loved seeing the joy in her face as we all sang for her on Christmas Day. So it was a wonderful visit. I'm back and just reflecting on 2025. I've had, I didn't feel the rush to do everything that everybody's doing. And I did take some time today. Today is Saturday. I'm recording this on Saturday. I took some time to do my little 2025 recap. And I've been wanting to do it. It's not something I feel pressure to do because I'm seeing other people do that on social media. I do it because I just really enjoy. I enjoy the creativity part of that. And I really enjoy reflecting by looking back on videos and pictures of the whole year. And so I got that today. I got to do that today, and that felt really good. So all that to say, I have quite a bit I want to cover. Hopefully this won't be too long. And I'm really hoping that this episode for you will inspire you, give you peace, put you at ease for 2026 in preparation. Even though we've already gotten into 2026, we can still take time to prepare right now. It's never too late. So like I said, when I opened up this episode, my goal for this year is I am choosing peace over pressure, peace over perfection, which I'm always preaching, right? That it's not about perfection. It's about consistency. It's about progress. It's about being. And so that's kind of what I want to talk about. And there's some things I'm going to talk about in this episode. I'm going to go over just kind of like some reflections I've had for 2025. And I invite you to reflect on your own things that have happened in the past year. It's okay to do that. I invite you to do that. I hope you do that. It's good to look back. And then we're going to talk a little bit about that reflection and why looking back matters. And then I'm going to get into the most exciting part of this episode, and that is letting 2026 be easy, letting 2026 be simple, just allowing it. And then if there is something that you want to if there is something you want to have happen this year, I want to invite you to make sure you put that on the calendar. I'm going to go over that. All right, so let's get into it. My 2025, what's funny is as the year was ending, for whatever reason, I was thinking a lot about how many hardships I experienced in this 2025 year. And I think it's safe to say, just human nature to naturally, quickly see things that are negative, the things that were hard. And it's crazy because when I looked over all of my pictures and my video, while I had some very challenging times this past year, there were so many wonderful things this year. And so the thing this past year, I'm just going to just kind of briefly, I don't want to focus on these things. It was one for me, Country Boy would argue this. He's argued this like back to, like he does not agree. Like that for me, it's been one of the most challenging years of my life. And we've had some hard moments, some uncomfortable seasons this year that have stretched me in ways that I did not expect. Okay. So starting out the year, like back in March when I had my bike crash, thankfully I still have, I've got the bump here to prove it, that this bone here, the AC joint thing is second grade up here. It's never going down. I didn't have to have surgery. That's kind of one of the big things that I had to, recover from this year. Some other hard things, as you guys know, well, maybe you don't. I didn't really talk about it, but in May, I had one of the most challenging Mother's Day because my Lindsay decided to move away in May, right before Mother's Day. She moved all the way to California. That's a long story. I don't need to get into it, but she felt like she needed to do that to prove something to herself. And she's in California, and we are not, yes, we're in touch, but we're not nearly as close and interactive as we had been in the past. So that's been a very challenging thing for me this year. My mom, in the middle of the year, she started experiencing some more health complications and was on continuous oxygen. And so that has been a challenge this year. a big one for me. In fact, the ending of this year did not go how I had hoped. And, I think if you follow me in my stories, basically, my mom was very sick and she needs to go into the hospital. She hasn't been healthy. She hasn't been doing well. And it's been really hard for me because I feel this sense of obligation, even though this relationship has been strained in a way that is hard to describe, where I have felt, I don't know, guilt, shame, never good enough, but I didn't do anything wrong. But it's something that towards the end of this year, when I had my most recent interaction with my mom, was very hard. And it really opened my eyes in a way that I had never felt or seen before, where it's crazy, as hard as that last conversation was with her, where I was trying to take her to the ER. I really think I had a breakthrough. At 55 years old, I think I had a breakthrough that it's okay. I'm not responsible. I've done everything I can. I said these things before, but I really had a breakthrough this time. So anyway, that was challenging this year. And then I lost my Fiji the end of August, September it was. See, I don't even know the date, but losing my Fiji girl, my dog that I had for so many years. She was 13 years old. That was a tough time. And yeah, so those were really hard. And then this IT band that I've been dealing with, right, in my right knee for the past, I don't know how long, how many weeks. It's been going on and on. But here's the thing. I have had so many amazing, wonderful experiences this year. And that's the part that I am going to go away with 2020. I have decided I am not going to focus on all of the hard things that I experienced this year. My focus is going to be just reflecting on all the wonderful things that I experienced this year. This year, I got to go on so many trips, not necessarily like out of state or out of the country, which I did, but several of them were with Country Boy on bike rides that we went getaways, with our bikes and, staying in cabins and going to different places we haven't been. And this year I got to take I think it was 11 or 12 day trip to Spain to visit my family on my mom's side. That was phenomenal. Something I had planned way in advance the year before. And got to go to Las Vegas with Country Boy. Country Boy and I got to go to, we got to go to Michigan to go visit Carla and her husband Joel. They are, Carla's administrator of Rock That Fitness, and she just has become such a close friend of mine. Carla, shout out to you, girl. And Country Boy and I got to go to, we got to go to West Virginia 2 times this year. And I got to go to Arizona 2 times this year. One time to Tucson to go do that amazing ride, the L Tour, the Tucson, with my friend Camille and her friends, that 63-mile ride. And then I got to go to Phoenix in December this past year for my most favorite, business conference ever, for BBD Live. So, that's just some highlights. And again, there's some other very hard things I'm not even going to bring in this episode. I want this year to start fresh, new energy, focused on all the wonderful things that I experienced and grew through in 2025. It was a wonderful year, even though it was challenging. So I hope that you are able to do the same thing, because I know that is just how life is. We have hard times, we have fun times, good times, and the more we're able to just embrace what is, the more at peace and the more joy we can experience. So really hope that you can do that for yourself. And the other thing I want to say, like I said, I've had incredible experiences, beautiful moments, deep lessons and growth that just wouldn't have happened without the hard parts. And so it's important to say those things out loud. It's very important for us to celebrate the wins and reflect on all the beautiful things of this year. And I hope that you can do the same thing. So this is going to be kind of like a funny thing, last year, at the beginning of the year and years prior, I have encouraged our rock stars and myself to come up with like a word of the year. And um, this year, I'm not having pressure for that. Now, if you have a word that I've kind of been thinking about it, but I've decided like there's no pressure for me to come up with a word. But there's two things that last year I did at the beginning of the year, and I think a lot of us did, where we came up with a word, and my word was not really a word, it was more like a phrase, and mine was commit with courage, which I clung to, which helped me tremendously most of the year. But I'm not going to lie, I kind of forgot about it towards the end of the year. Did that happen to you? And towards the end of this year, I started thinking, well, gee, what was my word? But what's really cool is that I actually lived that out the entire year. Commitment to my personal health and my fitness, commitment to my clients, my people, to you, commitment and courage to take action in things that were very difficult, even when it went against what other people thought or felt or would do. I did things with courage this past year that I'm really proud of, and it has grown me tremendously. So anyway, all that to say, I'm sitting here saying like, I don't necessarily have a word this year. I'm just going to say it. But if I had to choose a word, it would be, to be peaceful and to be, right? Instead of do. Just to be is a place of peacefulness for me. And so I'm not really going to choose one, but I think if I did, that would be the word. I'm not just, like I said, this is me not having pressure. I'm not going to have the pressure. I refuse to do it. So instead of seeing that as a failure, that I didn't remember the words, to me, it's more like freedom. And not having a word, that's not failure. It's just at peace with where I'm at. And what 2026 is representing for me is truly being at peace, guilt-free, any shame-free. Side note, something that has come to my attention in a very real and clear way, even though I already know, and I've mentioned this before, I've had trauma in my childhood and growing up. And while I've said this before, I have trauma brain, and that's how come I have forgotten so many things. It's hard for me to remember like chronologically some of the things that happened in my childhood. And so I kind of joke about this trauma brain thing, and I have in a while. But I will say that in the past couple of months, I have begun to have some more clarity surrounding this. And I say that because recognizing it has helped me to understand myself more. And maybe that's something that you also have experienced some trauma. Some of us, what I've learned, this is really crazy. What I have learned is that there are people that have not had trauma and it just blows my mind. And there are people that have had maybe one or two traumatic episodes in their lifetime, but I've had numerous, and I didn't realize the impact it has had on my psyche. But thankfully, thank you to my past self that recognized that in high school and started getting help, which is like counseling and reading self-help books. I started my personal growth journey early in my life because I recognized in high school that I was in a dysfunctional family, surrounded with a lot of dysfunction and toxic behaviors. I recognized that at an early age. So why am I saying that? I think it's to say that I feel like I really am having some breakthroughs right now. And I don't want to make this episode all about me. The reason I'm sharing this is because I'm always going to keep it real. I also think that by sharing the things that I go through, it's my hope that it gives you permission to make that okay. It's not your fault. It's not my fault. It is my responsibility, though, to recognize it and to act accordingly, to respond to it in a way that is healthy, rather than being a victim of it, rather than blaming events, blaming people, blaming anything, but just stepping into my responsibility and recognizing it and loving myself in spite of those things that my brain has been programmed to feel, to do those kind of things. But I'm recognizing it. And I've gotten some serious breakthroughs this past couple of months. So I'm going to continue to lean into that in this year. I don't know if I'm going to share that or not, but I did now. I did just now. I very well may, because I feel like some of the breakthroughs that I've been having, I know are helping me be a better wife, a better mom, a better coach, a better friend. And don't we all want that? Don't we all want to be better? Don't we all want to be our best, the best person, the best who we were meant to be? So I'm sitting here, and honestly, like I said, looking back at the year, those two things, that word of the year was my, commit with courage. And I did throughout the year. But the other funny thing, here's another funny thing that I did. I said that I was going to start journaling at the beginning of the year. And I did. I got a journal and I started journaling. Then I didn't journal every day. Then I kind of journaled every other day. And then, yes, slowly over time, girl, I haven't been journaling. But no shame, no guilt. I didn't, it's not that I did anything wrong, but it's just funny because we do tend to do things in the beginning of the year that we want to keep doing. And I could keep doing it. I didn't feel like I was missing anything, though. The one thing that has been consistent for me, in spite of not necessarily journaling, and I have still journaled, but it hasn't been on a regular basis. It's just when I feel like I need to write something down. And I've done quite a bit of journaling this year. So I will say that, but it hasn't been like on a consistent pattern basis. The one thing I will say that I've continued to do is my mindful practice. And I do that very regularly. And thank God I do, because it gives me so much peace, clarity, focus, awareness. I can't say enough about it. And if you don't have a mindful practice for yourself, I do want to encourage you to do that. All right, let's go. What else was I going to talk about? I just want to give you permission to not need to have a perfect word for the year. But if you want a word for the year, I do encourage you that you choose a word that's an action word, because if it's not an action word, it's harder to stick with, because our minds are used to taking action and having a word that is active. And then that just kind of reinforces the emotions, reinforces your beliefs. So I would choose a word that is, active, whatever that is, whether it's, exercise, writing, creating, drawing, playing music, but a word that's a verb. Okay. Something that you can do that's taking action. But again, you don't have to have a word, and you also don't have to have a perfect plan, and you don't have to have total clarity to move forward. So I hope that gives you some peace. I'm not saying don't have a plan. I'm going to talk a little bit about that here in a little bit, but I just want you to rest easy. If you feel like you're behind, you're not. Let's talk a little bit about why looking back matters. And I mentioned a little bit about this earlier. As humans, we do a really good job at focusing on things that went wrong. We're just really good at that. And it's not your fault. It's not our fault. It's really the way the brain is programmed. Our brain is programmed to keep us safe and to protect us. So it's always on the lookout for what's negative and what's wrong. So when we're aware of that, we can flip that around and start focusing on what did we do? Instead of that, right? Instead of focusing on what went wrong or what we didn't do, let's start looking at the things that we did do. We miss how strong and capable we actually are. We want to take time to reflect on your wins. Take time to reflect on how you have grown, what kind of mindset shifts you've had. Take some time in the moments that we showed up for ourselves. Think about that, because when we have showed up for ourselves, we are building confidence and we're building trust. So the more we show up for ourselves, the more confident we become and the more we learn to trust ourselves. And this goes with everything, right? And especially when it comes to your health and your fitness. So if you are reflecting on the year, and maybe there have been times this year where you didn't follow through, or you didn't do what you said you would do, and you're feeling like I should have, and you're feeling a certain sense of guilt, self-defeat, I want to invite you to reframe this for yourself. There's this thing, there's a difference between knowledge and knowing. You can have the knowledge of something and not actually know it. One of the examples that I like to give is that you can read an entire book about swimming and the strokes and how to swim in the water. But if you've never gotten in the water to swim, then you don't really know how to swim. So when you're thinking about your health and your fitness, your nutrition, and the skills that you have been working on when it comes to maybe tracking your calories, tracking your macros, prepping your food, preparing, planning ahead, all of these things are a skill. The more you practice it, the better you get at it. So if you are looking back at times that you shouldn't have done, rather than think of that, I want to invite you to have self-compassion in the way to know that you're actually growing and you're getting better. Keep going. This is why we say keep going, because it takes repetition. Change and building habits requires repetition. So if you start a habit and you start going and you're not going, just recognize it and get back to it. You'll just continue to improve. So again, take time to look at your wins, your growth, and those kind of things. But I want you to look back on this year and remove judgment. Just remove the judgment. It isn't helpful. It's not helping. Let's honor the things that we've done. Let's learn and grow from it. That is the mature standpoint. And see what's going on there, become aware of it. But biggest message I want to share with you, to urge you and nudge you towards, is to celebrate you, celebrate the wins, and really focus on what went well in 2025. Okay, now let's talk about 2026 and letting 2026 be easy and be simple. Don't you just love those words? Don't those words just feel good? This is something that I tend to do when I feel pressure, when I feel stress. It's a mantra. Anna, let it be easy. Just allow it to be easy. The reason it's so hard is because we make it hard on ourselves. We have a tendency to complicate things, to make it hard. When you're feeling stressed, when you feel like it's hard, when you feel like it's complicated, ask yourself, what can I do to make this simple? And hey, how about this? Give yourself permission to let it be easy. Give yourself permission to let it be simple. There is no reason that we need to let it be complicated and hard and stressful. Life has enough in it. There's enough of that. We don't need to put more pressure on ourselves. Let's let 2026 be easy and simple. And that's my intention for 2026. So all of this commotion that happens every year, right? To be the new you, new year. What's your plan? What are your goals? Okay, let's just have some perspective. I've decided I don't need to feel that pressure. I'm choosing not to feel that pressure. I'm choosing to feel at peace. I'm choosing what is best for me. And yes, it's great to have some goals. Nothing wrong with that. I think goals are a great thing. But I also think that we need to let go of the expectations of those things so that we can hold loosely to those goals, but yet have process goals in place, daily things that we do. I'm going to talk about that here in just a second. So easy doesn't mean like to care less. Easy doesn't mean that we do nothing. That's not what it means. When I say let it be easy, I'm saying it means removing unnecessary pressure. That's what I'm saying. Because we're putting that pressure on ourselves. It means choosing a supportive habit over extreme expectations. Does that make sense? Just choose easy. Choose what's simple. What will make it simple for you? Because when we complicate things, we're just creating excuses and reasons why we aren't going to follow through. It means trusting that consistency grows best in a calm setting, not in chaos. And we can create that calm setting for ourselves. And you can create that calm setting for yourself. When it feels hard, that's just us making it hard. What do we need to do? What do we need to let go of? What is not serving us anymore? and let's let it be easy. I hope that makes sense. So let's talk about what you want to do this year. That's okay to get excited about that. I have some exciting things I want to do this year too. But I did decide this year for 2026 that more than likely not going to be doing as much travel as I did in 2025. But that was my theme in 2025. Heading into 2025, it was my goal to travel a lot. And I did. I lost count of how many flights I took in 2025. I was the world traveler. So I'm real proud of that because I put that on the calendar and I made it happen, and it happened. And so for 2026, I've decided that I am not going to be traveling as much. The traveling that I will be doing is simply going to be, I may be taking one business conference trip this year. If something else comes up, great. That'll be wonderful. But I'm not actually being intentional about that. I'm being intentional about staying more at home, and maybe some getaways, more getaways with Country Boy, bike rides, trails, bike trails, those kind of things. But if you want something to happen for yourself in 2026, make it happen. You are the creator of 2026. You are the creator of your life, girl. So put that thing on the calendar. I don't know, and I'm going to tell you right now, this is one of those areas for me that hurts my brain to do. But when I do it, it does help things be easier. It lets things be more simple because it's already planned. Planning is key with everything. Have we learned this yet? With our nutrition, with our fitness, and with our lives, and with scheduling. We need to plan ahead, because what happens when we don't plan? We just feel like life is taking charge. Life is controlling us when we don't plan. So I did take some time in the past couple of days to do some planning on my calendar, some planning for Rock That Fitness, for my business, for what's going to happen in Rock That Fitness. I took some time to write out some dates for the band. Last year, this is something that happened to me in 2025, happened to me that I planned. I planned to do no more than 12 or 15 shows with Flying Free Band, and I did 15. That was my plan. So this year, I'm going to do something similar. No more than 15 shows are going to go on the calendar. And I already have those dates booked. I already had not booked, but I have them down. So I'll be sending those out to the venues. But see how we plan ahead. My calendar is already starting to be planned, but it's also planned with space. Space. Can we say that? Doesn't that feel good? Let's leave some margin. Let's leave some space between the lines so we can breathe, so we can be at peace, so that as we are going, we can do better at planning. We can be more intentional. So one of the practical things, like I said, that I'm doing this year is I'm putting things on the calendar that matter. So I want to encourage you, if there's something special that you want to have happen this year, put it on the calendar. Make a plan for it. And also, plan for what you're going to do this year for yourself when it comes to your nutrition, when it comes to your fitness, when it comes to your personal time and your commitments. Commit to yourself. Put them on the calendar. Schedule things, because hoping for something, wishing for something is not going to help you accomplish or reach any kind of goal that you have, or anything in your heart's desire. You have a heart's desire. It's there for a reason. It's on purpose. If it's in your heart, there's a reason. Let's create it. I've learned that clarity and structure create follow through for myself. It's not motivation. Motivation isn't going to do that, but clarity and structure helps me with follow through, and it helps all of us with follow through. So again, if there's something you want more of this year, I encourage you to give it space on your calendar. The next thing I just want to touch on here for a moment is the importance of, well, let's see. Let's talk about New Year's resolutions. A lot of people are having New Year's resolutions. So whether you want to call it, I think this is what I think about New Year's resolutions. I'm not really a fan of calling it that, because we all know that New Year's resolutions have a reputation for not happening. People make New Year's resolutions and they break them, right? It has a bad rap. Okay. But call it what you want. If you wanted to make a decision for yourself for this year, I applaud you. I encourage you to do that, and good for you. I'm cheering you on in your decision But these decisions and decisions to make a change in your life don't have to be on New Year's Day, and they don't need to be on a Monday, and they don't need to be at the first of the month. You have the power to make a decision to choose something today and any day of the year. But here is the thing. Again, I'm going to always die on this hill about expectations. Let's let's be clear about that. Like, if we cling to expectations, then we could disappoint ourselves. So let's just let's manage those expectations. We can manage expectations based on science. On what? Like, if you're trying to lose weight or you want to lose weight, rather than having a timeline, like, I'm going to lose 30 pounds in 30 days. Like, let's be like real. Scientifically, that is not a healthy, sustainable way to lose weight. Base it on, managing your expectations, like, a half a pound to 2 pounds a week, right? Calculate that out. Let's be realistic scientifically with that kind of thing. But again, when you want to make a change, you don't need a first day of the year. You don't need to keep starting out. You're never starting over. You are just going to pick up from where you are and keep going. But here is one of the biggest keys to you making a decision for your health, your fitness, your weight loss, whatever it is for you that you are serious about, or even if you're serious about eliminating alcohol or cutting back with alcohol. Let me put a plug in here for this real quick on the alcohol thing. Yes, it's January 5th. It's not too late if that's something that you want to take control, like let go of, and you want to experiment alcohol free, maybe eliminating for the month of January. It's not too late. And my friend, my nurse coach friend, Olga, put together a community in Facebook called Free January. Instead of Dry January, she's calling it Free January. So I talked about that in the last podcast episode. But if that's something you want to do, go get in there. I'll put the link in the show notes that you can go join that Facebook group. Go in there. It'll be great. Experiment. Again, you didn't need to start at the beginning of the year. If the year has started, a week's gone by and you said, oh, well, it's too late now. No, it's never too late. So just start if you want to do that. So whatever it is, here's the thing that I want to share, that I want to remind us about. And that is, it's your lifestyle, your change that you want to make is going to require building a habit. It's going to require reprogramming your brain. And this is where you can learn, and we can learn to release ourselves of judgment. It's not your fault that you maybe keep failing, quote unquote, failing yourself or starting over, or you feel like you just cannot be consistent. Whatever that is for you, give yourself permission to let that go and understand that it's just simply the way your brain has been programmed, and it just requires reprogramming, which is creating new habits. But one of the biggest things that so many women try to do when they're making lifestyle changes is they try to change too many things too fast all at once. How's that working out for us? It just never works. I've been there too. It doesn't work. So I just want to encourage you to let go of feeling like you need to change everything all at once. And like, I always like to look back on the time when I made my real lifestyle, life change, my transformation, my personal transformation, where I chose to focus on that one habit of really understanding my individual personalized nutrition for my fat loss so that I never needed another diet again. I'm not saying don't do the other things. Don't get your steps in. Don't get your workouts in. Don't have personal time. Don't get plenty of water. All those things are important. But what area do you need to focus on? Because our brain can only develop and focus on one thing at a time. Little by little, a little becomes a lot. So keep going with that one habit, whatever it is for you, and keep going. And you will know that it's a habit because once it has been established, you no longer have to put any more mental energy, emotional energy into it anymore. That's when you know it's a habit that has been established. Now, if you are still putting mental energy into something and you keep falling off, that's probably a sign that you're trying to put your energy and focus on too many things at once, and you haven't dedicated your focus to one habit until it is solid. Give yourself whatever time it takes. It's not going to be 3 weeks, 21 days to create a habit. It's going to be as long as it takes you. It takes as long as it takes. Once you see that that habit has truly been established, now you know you can take all that energy and focus and start the next habit that you want to work on. But this is really what it comes down to. Releasing yourself of the judgment. It's not your fault. It's how we've been programmed, but we have the power to reprogram our thinking and our minds. That's what autopilot is all about. We go on autopilot. We have to course correct when we're working on something. That habit. Make the change, keep making the change, keep repeating, practicing until you keep on progressing and you have established the habit. Okay, I think that's enough of that, but that's key. So just let go of any judgment and guilt or shame. It's not helpful anyway. It doesn't help. I want to encourage you to love yourself to health. Love yourself into your fit physique. All right, I'm going to start closing now, but I want to remind you, I want to leave you with this reminder. You are not behind and you're not broken. So take time right now to do some planning for the year, to put some things on the calendar, to set your goals. And remember, when it comes to goals, something that a lot of women are very confused about when it comes to goals, they're not being specific. They'll just say, I just need to lose weight. Well, let's get specific with that. How much? And then let's talk about the process, the daily behaviors and actions it's going to require for you to get said goal. You have a goal, it's over here. And then you have daily actions to put in place little by little to get to that goal. Okay. A goal, reminder, memo. Here's the memo. Don't say you didn't get this memo. When somebody asks you, what is your goal this year? And you say, I'm going to start eating more protein. That's not really a goal. Like, that is a process goal. Those are things that you do on a daily basis that your body needs. What's your goal? To get stronger. Okay, what's the plan in place to get there? What's the strategy? And then, okay, so reminder, you're not behind. You can start planning today, setting your plan in place. Set your goal, set your plan, your strategy, okay? And then this is a very, very big memo right here. If you hear nothing else, I want you to hear this. You can keep doing and doing and doing all you want, girl. If that's all you focus on is doing, you will continue to disappoint yourself. You will continue to be starting over. You will continue to be frustrated. Now you're like, Anna, what do you mean? What do you mean I should be doing these things? Yeah, but here's what I want to ask you to focus on for you. Do this for yourself. Be the person you are meant to be. Remember, we're getting this all backwards. People think they need to do to get some kind of result, and then they will be the fit chick. It's all backwards. Just be. Be the woman you are meant to be, your authentic, true self, true to yourself, have integrity with yourself, show up as your true, authentic self, be you, truthfully you, and that healthy, fit version, you who you are meant to be, will naturally be doing the things required to have the results. I think that's worth the reminder for all of us. Anytime we are working and efforting so hard, it's hard. We're not letting it be easy. We let it be easy when we are being just to be at peace. And then ask, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? I'm going to let it be easy. What's the next thing I need to do? You don't need to become someone new because you're already yourself. You're already her. So tap into your greatness. Tap into who you really are. Girl, you have everything inside of you. I'm here to remind you that you have all you need, all the greatness in yourself. You don't need to become somebody new. You need to be you, the real version, the healthy, fit version of you. And maybe this year it isn't about doing more. Maybe it's about supporting yourself better. So that's an idea. Who said we have to do more? Maybe it's about creating more space to be and to be at peace and not follow all the pressures and trends all over the place. There's a lot of that on social media. If you're ever scrolling on social media and you're feeling pressure, there you go. We're not letting it be easy. We're allowing those things to control our thoughts, and then those thoughts become emotions and we feel stressed and pressure. No, let it go. Let it be easy. Ask yourself, who am I being? Am I being my true self? What are the practices and the things that I need to repeat? Who is that real version of me? The authentic self does these things. That's the stuff we need to be doing. And what would make this feel peaceful for you when it comes to your health, when it comes to your nutrition, when it comes to your relationships? What will make it feel peaceful and sustainable? And you can trust. You can trust yourself. And if you feel that you can't, I want to encourage you to start working on trusting yourself. Like, just, in your heart. And sometimes it's hard because it's scary to know in your heart what is the thing. But just do it anyway. It all works out. Trust yourself. Let it be simple. Let it be easy. Okay, the last thing, as I'm going to come to a close now, it is Monday, and I'm saying this on a Saturday, so I sure hope that I'm finished with what I need to finish. I'm going to be putting in the show notes a link to join the next Jumpstart Challenge. We are kicking off the next Jumpstart Challenge. It's happening, and we're kicking it off. I believe the deadline to join is January 23rd. That's my 7-day free Jumpstart Challenge, where you are going to be able to come and join me for a free 7-day challenge. This is a fitness challenge where you will do a strength training program with me, coached by me, and have some live training and have access to me back and forth as I coach you. And I'm going to have some live training on nutrition and mindset. This is coming. I am so excited. I think this is round 4 of Jumpstart. So if that's you and you are looking for a structure and you want to experience what it's like to truly be on a structured plan for strength training and to be coached with me live inside the Rock That Fitness app, whether it's at home or at a gym, any level, I want to invite you. And that link is in the show notes. Go click that link and join us. Yeah, that's all I got for you today. Girl, I just thank you for hanging out with me on this first episode of 2026, sending you so much love. I hope that as we end this episode right now, that you can truly feel at peace knowing that you're not behind, and you can take things at your own pace, whatever you need to do to let it be easy, to let it be simple, and just trust that you are exactly where you need to be. Self-care, self-love, all day, every day, in every way. Do I have your word? Good. Let's rock 2026.